Hey everybody, it's Jeremy Hamilton with 5280 Angler with a fishing report. It is the first week of March. I kind of lost track of the days. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, first week of March anyway. Just had a couple trips, went out to Deckers, went out to Dreamstream, been out to Pueblo as well. And everything's fishing pretty good, even though mornings can be kind of chilly. The fish, once the sun comes up, the fish will start feeding. Water's been warming up a little bit and getting fish active. Out at the Dreamstream today, the water has been bumped a little bit. The flow's been bumped, so that happened a few days ago. The fish are eating brown worms, leeches, like a Mayor's mini leech in a brown or black, even black worms working. Eggs, the rainbows and cutbows and cutthroats are starting to spawn. So do watch out for their spawning beds. Don't walk across those, and don't fish to those fish that are spawning. But there are eggs in the system. So as soon as we threw on an egg today, literally first cast, the fish were on it. So eggs are working well. Zebra midges, crystal flash midge. So out at the Dreamstream, it's still cold enough where we're not seeing anything besides midges right now. We did see some fish or some midges hatching, and we did see some fish up on top feeding on those. Not a lot, but there's a few. If you do want to try to get some fish on a dry fly, there is certainly that opportunity. It's just you're not going to get a ton of fish on it, but there are definitely fish feeding on the surface. So a little Parachute Adams 2022 Matt's midge. That's always my favorite single midge dry fly in a 22 or even a 24. Some of those midges are really tiny. Or you can do a Griffith's net, so that's a midge cluster. So you can get away with a 20 on that one. Run it behind a Parachute Adams so you can see where it's at, and you can get some fish on top. But otherwise, the fish have been down pretty deep still. Besides the fish that are spawning, anything downstream of them that's feeding, they're in the deeper water. We did get a couple really nice fish today that were down deep. Some of the smaller-ish fish were a little closer up towards the riffles and the deep holes. So, be looking for the deep holes. Stay out of the shallow riffles. Chances are those are going to be spawning fish. So just to be safe and leave those fish alone. Let them do their thing. Out at Deckers, kind of same thing. Fish are starting to spawn here and there. I've been using a lighter colored worm out there and kind of a micro worm, like a tan, and doing a really small thin worm has been working well, along with black beauties, zebra midges, crystal flash midge, chocolate thunders or foam wing emerger, however you want to call it. RS2s have been working. The other day I did see a couple of blue-winged olives popping up, and there were definitely some fish on them, but there's also the big spring midge. So we saw a fairly decent hatch of those. That's like in size 18. So for the dries on that, I'm using either a size 18 Parachute Adams or a Matt's midge. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. But size 18 on that. When they're starting to emerge, I've been using a Manhattan midge, an 18, either in a gray or black, the kind of the standard black on that. But again, a size 18, I put that as my bottom fly so that it'll kind of, and swing it around, and that'll you'll pick up fish that way. So that's been good. As the water warms up, the fish have been moving into the riffles to feed. Not just spawning fish there, but there are fish moving into the shallower water to actually feed. So be on the lookout for that. Early in the morning when it's cold, the fish have been down deeper in those deeper holes. Out at Pueblo, same thing, midges, of course, but things kind of happen a little bit sooner down there because it's farther south. And this is the Arkansas River, if you're not familiar. The blue-winged olives have been going. I've been seeing those afternoons. Of course, midges, kind of same things. Another midge that I forgot to mention is a miracle midge or mercury midge. That kind of white colored midges have been doing well. Also, Juan Ramirez's pale ale midge. I had to think of it there for a second. That one's been picking up quite a few fish. There's some bigger midges, and that's been working well at Decker's too, by the way. Those bigger spring midges, that pale ale midge in like an 18 or a 20 has been doing very well for me. Bling midges, Juju Betas have been doing well down there. RS2s when those blue wings start going, kind of later in the afternoon, and eggs as well, because the fish are down there spawning, and actually I've seen quite a few down there, so definitely leave those alone. With all of it, any of these places you go, you can also fish some streamers. White streamers have been doing well. You want to have a little bit slower retrieve, unless it's a really warm day, then you can kind of speed it up a little bit. But fish's metabolism is still a little low, so they're not moving super far right now. But you can definitely pick up some midges or some fish on streamers. I've got midges on the mind, I suppose. But you can woolly buggers, slump busters, that kind of stuff. You don't want to go. I don't really like to use really big streamers this time of year when it's still cold. Go with the smaller streamer that the fish knows it can just get in one bite, and it's not going to have to put out a ton of effort to do it. So, but yeah, that's it. Look for the Colorado, the Williams Fork, all that stuff as spring really starts to come in, and start warming things up, melting some of the snow. That's when those rivers are really going to start to pick up. They're fishing well right now. It's just tough to get to them. Eagle River, I did get a report that's doing well. Again, all the same, pretty much the same flies. It's all midges right now. If you're nymphing, and then if you see noses poking up, then you can go with some dry flies. But that's just pretty much the name of the game this time of year is the small stuff. As it warms up, once we start getting into April, we're going to see more and more blue-winged olives and start using some bigger bugs, using more dry flies, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, we're also hoping for Boxwood and Longmeadow Ranch to open probably end of April, early May. So be on the lookout for those to open up if you want to come get some big fish with us. But otherwise, get out there, do some fish, and I'll see you in another couple weeks with another report. And until then, have fun.